Hello, third grade, and welcome to lesson 8-8. We're going to go ahead and start working on our very last lesson for this unit, and we're going to work on modeling things with math. So what that means is we're going to work on different ways to show what we're working on. Let's go ahead and watch our short video lesson, and we'll jump into our notes and guided practice after that.
How can you model with math? Think about this question during the lesson. David has $583 to spend on soccer uniforms. He buys this soccer jersey and 2 soccer shorts. How much money does David spend? Think, what math do I need to use to solve this problem?
Now, if we need to figure out how much money he spent, what we need to think about is what information do we have? So we know he bought 1 jersey and he bought 2 pairs of shorts. So we need to figure out how much 2 pairs of shorts cost. And we need to add to that the price of the jersey to figure out how much money he spent.
I need to show what I know and then choose the needed operations. Think, how can I model with math? I can apply math I know to solve the problem, use a bar diagram and equations to represent the problem, and use an unknown to represent the number I am trying to find. A bar diagram represents something visually. Explain why a bar diagram is a model.
Now we use bar diagrams as models because they help us to see the math question that we're working with. Our bar diagrams represent or show our equations in a way where we can see them in a different way other than just as numbers.
A bar diagram shows or visually represents the numbers and words in a problem. Here's my thinking. I will use a bar diagram and an equation. The hidden question is, how much does David spend on shorts? $35 plus $35 equals $70. The 2 pairs of shorts cost $70. I need to find the total amount of money David spends for the jersey and the shorts. $70 plus $109 equals $179. David spends $179.
Great job!
Why is it necessary to answer the hidden question about the shorts? It is necessary to answer the hidden question about the shorts because you need to know how much 2 pairs of shorts cost. You can then add their combined cost to the price of the jersey to find out how much money David spends in all. Now you know how to model with math.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at our notes and our guided practice here in just a second. Okay, now our notes for this lesson, we have our lesson titled The Top 8-8 Model with Math, and we're going to be working on different ways that we can use that skill so that we're able to solve our problems and look at our problems in a different way. Because sometimes when you're able to visualize or see your problem, you're able to come up with your answers and your solutions a little bit better. So first we need to stop and think, what ways do I already know to help me solve a problem by showing and modeling my work? I know that I can make a bar diagram to show my equation. I know that I can use variables to show unknown numbers. So all of these things are things that are important for us to use in order to help us solve our problems. So I'm going to give you an example, and this is actually one of the examples that's out of your work. It says the Empire State Building in New York measures 381 meters tall. So notice that I've already annotated this question. Empire State Building is important, 381 meters tall. It is 159 meters taller than the Republic Building in Denver. The John Hancock Building in Chicago is 122 meters taller than the Republic Building. The Empire State Building is 712 miles from the Hancock Building, and the Hancock Building is 920 miles from the Republic Building. How tall is the Hancock Building? Okay, so we have a lot of information in this question, but we also have information here that is not necessary, things that are not important. So if the question we're being asked is how tall is the Hancock Building, doesn't matter to us how far apart these buildings are. It doesn't, because all of that is actually extra information. So when you're going through that, if you're going through it in your books, you can simply cross out the extra information because you don't need it. It has nothing to do with the question that you're being asked. So first you want to ask yourself, what do I know? So I know the Empire State Building, we're going to use E as the variable for Empire State Building. The Republic Building, R, and the John Hancock Building is J, E, R, and J. Now I know that the Empire State Building is 381 meters tall, right? There it is. The Republic Building is 159 meters taller than the Republic Building in Denver. And the John Hancock Building in Chicago is 122 meters taller than the Republic Building. Okay. So we know that the Republic Building is 159 shorter than the Empire Building, the Empire State Building. So 381, we're going to subtract from it 159. So we figured out that the Republic Building, R, is equal to 222 meters. The John Hancock Building, we know from the question, is 122 meters taller than the Republic Building. So 122 meters plus R is going to give us the height of the John Hancock Building. So 122 plus the 222 gives us 344 meters. Now, I want to show that using bar diagrams. So E is the Empire State Building, is 381. The Empire State Building is the same thing as the Republic Building plus 159. So I took my equation that I wrote up here and I showed it over here. My whole number, which is the first number, went on top, minus the part that I know equaled R, which was my unknown. So R was equal to 381 minus 159, and that equaled 222. For the John Hancock Building, I knew it was 122 meters taller than the Republic Building. So the two parts that I know, 122 plus the 222 for the Republic Building, will give me J, the height of my John Hancock Building. So 122 plus 222 told me that the John Hancock Building was 344 meters tall. So here we can go back to our question. You can see all of the information that we used. The Empire State Building was 381 meters tall. It's 159 taller than the Republic Building. So the Empire State Building, we said, is 159 meters taller than the Republic Building. And that our John Hancock Building was 122 meters taller than the Republic Building. We wrote out our equations. We represented them using bar diagrams. We were able to show all of our work. We showed what the variables stood for, had equations for them, and we were able to solve our question. So whenever you're going through a question, find your important information, underline what they're asking you, and if there's something extra in there that you don't need, either put a line through it or just ignore it, because sometimes they'll throw a lot of extra information at you to try and confuse you. So you want to be able to sort through that information and only pull out the parts that you need. Now let's take a look at your guided practice. It says Harris's office building has 126 windows. Morgan's bank has 146 windows. Devon's bank has 110 windows. How many more windows do the banks have altogether than the office? So annotated our question. Harris's office building, 126. Morgan's bank, 146. Devon's bank, 110. Underlined our question. So number one, it says, what is the hidden question that you need to answer before you solve? Well, first, if they're asking us, we want to know how many windows both banks have more than the office. I need to figure out how many windows do the banks have in all. And I need to figure out how to solve that question. So I outlined all of the steps. So you're going to see a lot of work over here. It says solve and complete the bar diagrams, show the equations that you used. So H over here was Harris's office building. I put the office right here, had 126 windows. Morgan's bank had 146 windows, and Devon's bank had 110 windows. So this was the office. These two were the banks, right? B is my bank windows altogether. So B is going to be 146 plus 110 is equal to B. That's my equation. As a bar diagram, I put the parts, and I need to figure out the whole. 146 plus 110 gave me 256. So the number of windows in the banks, in both banks altogether, is 256. That answers my hidden question. Now I can use that information to figure out the difference between the number of windows in the bank and the number of windows in the office. So 256, that's the total windows in the bank, minus the 126 windows that are in the office is going to equal X. And X is the number of windows, the difference in the number of windows. So my 256 is my whole number. That's going to go up here. Minus one of the parts that I know will equal the part that I don't know. So 256 is equal to X plus 126, or 256 minus 126 equals X. Doesn't matter which way you look at it, you're still going to arrive at the same answer. So I stacked and subtracted. 256 minus 126. 6 minus 6 was 0, 5 minus 2 is 3, 2 minus 1 was 1. So X was equal to 130. The banks have 130 more windows than the office building. Now, I know it looks like a lot of work, but when you outline and you lay out all of the information that you have, you make all of your bar diagrams, you show all of your equations, and you're leaving space in between so your work is not all crowded. It makes solving a lot easier, and it also helps you to find the right answer more often than for you to make mistakes, because you're laying out everything that you need to know, everything that you do know, everything that you need to find out. You've annotated everything. All of those are steps to help make sure you always get the right answer. And even if you got the wrong answer, when you show all of your work like this, we can figure out exactly where a mistake was made so that we can correct it. And that way we don't make that same mistake in the future. Always remember, do your best work, neat handwriting on everything, even in math. And if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I hope you have an amazing day. Take care. Bye-bye.